excited to welcome you here live from Prague in the Czech Republic to the World of Warcraft European Road to BlizzCon, and it has been magical so far. We've had a great 2 first matches, and the action doesn't stop there. We're going to go right into the next match. Don't forget, you can tell us what you thought of those previous matches and who you're predicting to win for the next one by using the hashtag RTB2015 and hashtag WowEsports. Now, I, of course, am standing here on stage with Reawakened 1 and Solari Gaming Yellow. I'm excited to learn more about them. Casters, take us into the match.
Thanks so much, Anna. Once again, we are back here at the O2 Arena in Prague, Czech Republic. We've seen some amazing matches so far. This next one is looking like it's going to be pretty amazing as well.
It is Reawakened versus Solari Gaming Yellow. Of course, we did see Reawakened 1 on stage earlier that barely survived against the team of 3 languages. So it'll be interesting to see how they can handle this team of Solari Gaming Yellow.
Yeah, all the games in this tournament so far have been incredibly close. And one of the things I kind of discovered after talking to a lot of the players is no one is 100% confident. Everyone thinks they can lose. All 8 teams here are incredibly good, and basically no one's a free win. So these games, really anything can happen.
Yeah, and of course, like you said, we did see Reawakened 1 earlier facing off and actually winning that first series that we watched earlier on today. Solari Gaming Yellow has actually come here just from getting a 2-0 victory against Solari Gaming Black. So kind of having to knock down one of their sister teams just to be able to make it here. We have not seen them playing on stage just yet, but it's going to be really interesting to see how this actually works out, just because we haven't seen them yet, and they're going up against a team that we know is super solid. I'm excited for this match, but I just don't know what to expect out of Solari Gaming Yellow.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure either. I think, after doing some research, that we're going to see them either playing like a Jungle Cleave, that Feral Hunter Shaman, or something like FLS, the Feral Lock Shaman. So both very strong comps. But they're going up against one of the best teams in the tournament, and this team happens to play Holy Pally God comp as well as RMD, which are pretty good.
It's going to be a tough choice. Both of those comps they're not as well-rounded against, when you're trying to pick if the enemy team is going to play God comp or RMD. It's just so tough to pick between those two.
Yeah, because either comp, like FLS does generally pretty well. If I'm not mistaken, it does pretty well against RMD on the grand scheme of things. And then the other composition, the Jungle Cleave, can do fairly well against God comp, but it's kind of a coin flip. Like, do we, especially in this first match when it's blind pick, like, do we pick one comp and hope that they pick the comp that we're going to go up against? This is going to be a lot of those mind games we were talking about earlier, where they don't necessarily know what they're going up against. Neither team knows what they're going up against. So they're just kind of guessing, like, which comp should we actually go with in this first game.
I think overall, RMD is probably the most solid comp that they can run in terms of what it can beat. It has the most solid chance against the most comps. So I think choosing something like that could be like a very solid first pick for them.
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually expect that they'll start with the RMD, especially when it's between those 2 comps, the FLS and the Jungle Cleave. However, we don't know if they have something else special, just waiting for the stage play.
Yep, so we do have a video to show you guys that's going to give a little bit more introduction to the team Reawakened. We did see them play earlier, but let's go ahead and check out this video and hear it directly from the players themselves.
Individually, we're really good players, one of the best players in the world. My name is Poike, and I play for Reawakened 1. Our team's history is that we have 2 second placements at BlizzCon, so we're really hungry for the win this time, obviously. What is necessary from us to qualify for BlizzCon? Well, it's simply that we bring our A game. Because if we bring our A game, we shouldn't lose to anyone, which is how it is. We practiced a lot online before, obviously. It was an online qualifier before getting here. And then it turns into more. It's not just a hobby anymore. It's more of a work thing, and obviously it's fun to play, but you also do it for the money. I would probably say that we have a lot of experience, a lot of LAN experience. Weaknesses. We have one teenager that is 16 years old. He's never been to a LAN before, so that could be our weakness. It's obviously about honor and stuff like that. So we've been practicing for nearly 2 months now, almost every day, between 4 to 6 hours, I would say. So we have a lot of practice.
So that is Team Reawakened 1. Like we said, we did see them earlier today playing in the very first match that we showed off earlier. They played incredibly well. They were actually down 1 game in their first match that they were playing against Team 3 Languages 1 Team. but they were able to come back 2-0 and actually close out that series and take the win. So these guys, they know what they're doing. They've been to BlizzCon a lot. They've been to a lot of events like this. They really know how to actually play against basically anything in this tournament situation.
Yeah, and it's interesting to hear Minpoke say that although it's fun, they practice so much that it almost feels like a job to them. They play a lot. They obviously take this game very, very seriously, and as they should. I mean, there's a lot of money on the line, and the chance to go to BlizzCon and win even more money. So, yeah. And also, like you mentioned, honor on the line as well.
Yeah, definitely the honor, because you know that he has to defend his title as a fierce competitor on these stages. Like, it's such a big deal, you know, knowing that you might be favored in terms of how calm you can be on stage. You know, you might not get thrown off. Like, I mean, they did get that one loss against 3 languages, so I don't know. Maybe it'll play well against Solari Gaming Yellow, and it might not. Again, they have to pick that one comp that can face against the Feralock Shaman or that Jungle Cleave.
Like we were saying, Reawakened, they were down 0-1 in the first series they played, and they said they were a little bit caught off guard, did the wrong strategy, but they were able to adjust and pull off the 2 wins, and now they're in the upper bracket playing against Solari Gaming Yellow. And one thing to note is that the winner of this matchup will move into the top 4 brackets, so a lot on the line.
Yeah, and just looking at who is up there on stage, we do see Zuniaki up there. So it does look like they will be going with that Holy Paladin God comp and not the RMD, which is going to be an interesting choice to see how they can face off against Solari Gaming Yellow. I believe we do have a video to introduce Solari Gaming Yellow, so let's go ahead and check that out.
The way how we came here was like we all had a break and we thought that we could make it to regionals together, so we came back to the game and just tried to qualify, and we made it at the second qualifier. It would be really nice to qualify for BlizzCon. That's our main goal, but we will try our best to reach that goal, but we will not be that disappointed if we will not make it. We have to win Shatter Play to get second in our group, and then we have to face RMD. That will be the hardest game. We faced every opponent or every team which qualified on ladder, and I guess we won every team at least once. I think it's a great opportunity to play in front of so many people, and I think you can give your best and get even better if you play in front of so many people and you try to be the best team and show what you can do and how good you are at your class.
And that, of course, is Solari Gaming Yellow, one of the more versatile teams. Well, maybe not versatile is the wrong word, but one of the more interesting teams we're seeing here because they do like to use that Feral Druid. There's a lot of great compositions for Feral Druid, and we know that 2 of them they really like to play, that Jungle Cleave, which has the Hunter and usually the Shaman Healer, as well as the Feralock Shaman, which has become so popular in the last couple of PvP seasons. So it's going to be interesting to see which of those 2 they go with, but the Feral Druid really sort of starring in the central role in both of those compositions.
Yeah, they must have a lot of confidence in their Feral Druid because it is a very tough spec to play once you hit that tournament level, because you know that there's always that opportunity once your 2 survival instincts are down that they can switch to you and kill you in a stun, no problem.
Yeah, you have to be very careful because even with survival instincts up, if you don't have a trinket to get out of stuns, you can get caught in a position where you just explode instantly, especially against a comp like God comp where you're going to get disarmed into Hodge. So very long CC chains going to be coming out from this God comp, and it's going to be up to this Feral to make sure he's either in bear or in a position where his healer can get a lot of healing onto him.
Yep, just introducing these guys real quick. That will be Feywin playing the Feral Druid. And Zam on the Shaman, and then we're going to see either the Warlock or the Hunter, depending on which composition they end up going with. So that's the little swap that they'll make there. But again, very, very interesting and the 2 comps actually play fairly differently as well between the 2. Jungle Cleave tends to want to be super aggressive and try to get that kill inside of a burst window, whereas the Feralock Shaman, they have a lot more rot damage available to them. So obviously they still want to get kills inside of burst windows. Everybody wants to get kills inside of burst windows, but they will have a lot more of that constant pressure that they're able to keep going.
Yeah, it's like an opposite playstyle, like you said. Instead of doing like sort of the rot pressure, they just go in for that single target kill. So it's going to be up to him to sort of change his mindset and make sure he's in the right mindset, as we do see that he's going to be playing that jungle cleave, it looks like. So we're going to be looking to see a lot of CC coming out of Sukin, Fewer, and Waffle Eye. And yeah, we'll see if they can make something happen against Reawakened.
Kind of excited seeing a hunter show his face on the stage. You know, we had a couple hunters play in the North American regionals, so we saw some hunter play there. You know, the feral hunter combo they can do such a great job, and it does look like that he is going to be playing survival also, which is great to see. I know a lot of the hunters have been switching back and forth a lot between BM and survival throughout this expansion, but it seems like survival just kind of hit its stride, you know, once it kind of grew into the gear this season.
Yep, so the gates are just about to open here. 3, 2, 1, and here we go. This first game between Reawakened 1 and Solari Yellow. I believe the winner of this match will automatically graduate from their... actually, it was just if Reawakened wins this, then they're good to go through their group. But we'll have to see how this actually plays out here. Zuniaki already taking a little bit of damage there, caught in that stun for just a second. The Wyvern Sting coming out onto Min Poike. Zuni actually taking a lot of damage. He's going to go ahead and get jumped out of there, no problem. He's just trying to get away. And actually catches the execution sentence. He actually goes right back in there, though, just trying to keep up his spread pressure and maybe trying to make some damage happen here, as No Lifer and Feywin have both popped their offensive cooldowns. Nice Fist of Justice onto Feywin, shutting down at least a little bit of that Berserk.
Yeah, they're turning around and going offensive with the disarm on a few, and so really diffusing those offensive cooldowns. Like you said, the Incarnation and the Berserk have been popped by him, but he's just completely on the back foot. Finally, the Nature's Vigil coming in, so a little bit of his damage is going to be converted into healing on himself. And Poike taking a lot of damage, though, down to 50% HP. He still has all his defensive cooldowns to work through. Saved by the light proc. You might have to use his bubble here. Caught into the main. Bubbling at 10% HP. And Poike, very, very scary for him, but he still is going to have that Trinket, Stone Form, and some bops available for himself when he needs it.
All right, as you see, Min Poike is going to get back into position just a little bit, tossing out those heals. Needs to keep his team offensive because they are going to set up a little bit of CC onto to Waffle right there, as it looks like every time that the Horror is off cooldown, Zuniaki is just tossing it out on to the Feral Druid over and over.
And there's the first Spirit Link coming out from Waffle, as Feywin was looking like he may have been in a little bit of trouble there. He does still have both of his survival instincts available, so he's hanging out of those as long as he possibly can. Now trying to get that Cyclone out, but was not able to land it. At this point, Solari Yellow, it looks like they're just trying to do their best to slow down Reawaken and get an opportunity to maybe get back a couple of defensive cooldowns. They do have all of their trinkets unavailable at this point in time, so Solari Yellow probably doesn't want to get too much on the offensive just yet, especially as Waffle Eye is caught into that long polymorph at this point. Sukin actually now taking a little bit of damage, could be in some trouble here. He may have to pop a deterrence. He has both of them still available, but no, nice big heal comes out, and it looks like he's going to be just fine as they're now turning it around onto Min Poike.
Yeah, this God Comp is going to have one more opportunity, and here it is, the disarm onto Few with the Fear on Waffle. If they can get the Deep Sheep, this could be a big trouble, but I think he actually, oh, there comes the full Hodge, the full Deep Sheep onto Waffle Eye. Few in big trouble. He does not have any more survival instincts left. Waffle Eye out of that CC, needs to get heals out onto him. He looks like he might be okay. They're trying to counter pressure on him, and Poike, he has that Avenging Wrath up right now, so shields are going to be super strong, but the Crows come out, and Poike in a lot of trouble. Save with the light proc on him, has to trinket out of that full bash, able to top himself off, but he really has no defensive cooldowns left. But the full Fear going out onto Waffle Eye. They're trying to set up on a Fewen, who is down to around 80% HP right now. Waffle Eye into the full polymorph. Fewen has to do a good job of kiting right now. He is doing an excellent job avoiding those CCs onto him. He's able to get away, and he's going to survive that CC chain.
Yeah, that's impressive that they lived through that. That was a Spirit Link at really high health, you know, expecting the damage coming in. Was a great job by Waffle Eye, but look at this Foon taking so much damage, having to trinket also. He's down really low with Frost Jaw onto Waffle Eye right there, followed by the Poly. The CC chain is never ending. Human is going to go down.
Yeah, there was just too much damage coming out of Reawakened there. They'd managed to chew through, even though they'd had to use all of their defensive cooldowns, they chewed through every single one of Solari Yellow's defensives as well. And unfortunately for Solari Yellow, there just was not enough left. And that Feral Druid, they're so squishy once they're actually out of all those defensive cooldowns. If they can't get that healing onto them from their healer, they'll just go down. And that's exactly what we just saw there. Reawakened recognizing that, okay, we've got this. We just got to live a little bit longer.